Hey everyone, it's Claudia, and today I'm back with another episode of Sketch It Out with Emma. So, for this episode, we're using a sketch from the Citrus Twist Kids block again, and it was my turn to pick one. And I just really love the sketches that they put up, so I saved a bunch, and it was really hard to pick one, and I decided that the one that we're using today could be an interesting sketch. And I'm using the Dear Lizzy documentary collection because I don't know, I just felt like using it. And the sketch had to use two photos, but I am just going to use one because I don't have two photos in that particular size. So I just figured, I'm just going to use one and it's not going to be a problem. So what I'm doing now is I'm just randomly stamping some stamps from the Dear Lizzy documentary stamp set, which actually came in the BBK kit for the scrappery. So I'm really happy to have it because, of course, it matches perfectly with the collection. And I'm just randomly stamping, um, just bits and pieces, all the stamps on my page to just create some interest here and there. Honestly, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just randomly just placing the stems down and hoping that it will turn out okay. And at this point, I thought, hey, let's just add some splatters and stuff. So I'm kind of using this color from the watercolor palette that I have, and it's kind of like a bluish gray tone. Like it's not like really blue. It's also not really gray. It's kind of in between, and it's a really nice subtle color. So I'm just kind of adding some watercolor um, here and there on the page, and you can kind of see it on the screen, I suppose, but in real life it kind of shows up better. And I wanted it to be subtle. I didn't want it to be too much, so that is why I chose that color. And also, I didn't really have any colors that really matched with the collection. I need to get a new watercolor set, like a new palette with different colors so I can use watercolors more often, because I feel like right now the only colors that really work with most layouts is the pink, and since I've used it so much, um, I'm almost out of that pink. So the sketch showed to use like two pieces of like strips of paper behind your photo. So those are those two patterns that I will be using. And I really love that floral pattern, but it would be, way too busy as a background. So I thought that it was a perfect way to just use a little bit of it and cut a strip off of that paper. And since I have the 12 by 12 paper pad, I have an extra sheet of that, of all the papers that I use, with the collection. So I will be able to do a decent amount of layouts. I'm not sure if I will because I've been struggling a little bit with the ephemera. um, if you know me, if you know my work, you will know that I love ephemera. I feel like I cannot properly make a layout without using ephemera, but I'm struggling with the ephemera in this collection a little bit. I love the sticker sheet, I love all the other embellishments, but the ephemera, I don't know, it's just not really, I don't know, I just don't like it that much. There are some lovely pieces, but there's also a lot of pieces in there that I just don't know how I will ever use them. So right now I'm kind of working on my layering. I just selected some papers from the 6x6 paper pad, and I'm just going to staple them together because, again, I'm lazy, and ever since I bought the stapler, I don't understand or get how I could use the double-sided tape for that long and not get frustrated with it, because it can be a bit tedious at times. So I put my actual photo up on some foam tape to give it some more dimension, and I also do that because I didn't know if I wanted to maybe layer some embellishments behind my photo. And now I'm just cutting off a strip off of the scrap piece of paper I had on my desk, and it's like a yellow paper with hearts. And I actually only later on realized that it actually said something similar on the sketch, but when I was making this, I wasn't really thinking about the sketch because I kind of knew what kind of like the main requirements for the sketch were supposed to be. And I don't even think I looked at the sketch once while I was actually making this layout. And here I pull out the ephemera pieces and kind of play around with some of them. And like I said, I'm struggling really hard. And I only use one that, oh, actually two, because that craft with gold is actually from the ephemera pack as well. I used that one, and I'm using the ephemera piece on the right that says never want to grow up, which I don't know, in a way it's quite fitting for Amy because she is 4 years old now and she is still crazy. And I've had dogs my whole life, ever since I was a baby, and I don't think we've ever had a dog that was still this like crazy and hyper at this age. So I thought that never want to grow up was somewhat fitting for this layout. And I decide here that this pinwheel doesn't really work with my color scheme per se, and that it would be a better idea to save it for another layout. So what I did instead is I cut out some florals from a scrap piece of paper from that floral pattern I was using earlier, and I thought that it could be interesting to just cut those out and layer them behind my photo. And I do like the way that looks because that red floral kind of adds a little bit of red to my layout, which in the end looks quite nice. And here I'm going to tear up some washi strips, and Missy Whitten does this all the time. And every time I'm trying to rip washi apart, I'm trying to do it like her, but it never looks as good as she does it. It always rips too early or whatever, but I'm still going to try, and maybe someday I will be able to rip washi properly. And now I'm just going to use those beautiful gold puffy figures for my title. And my title is just going to be Amy, um, mostly because there wasn't that much room to make a bigger title, and also because I just don't really know good titles. I'm just going to be honest about that. I'm horrible at titles. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. I don't think I'm ever going to get better at titles, but using an animal's name is always a good title because it's their name, so it's fine. And at this stage, I kind of decided that I wanted to create a little bit more interest to the right side of my page by just adding some um, strips of paper that I used on the left side. So I'm just cutting off some strips in various designs and just gluing them down. Them, excuse me. I really don't know how to speak. I apologize. And I think I'm going to add some gold Heidi swap color shine out, and that will finish up my layout, I think. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out Emma's video as well, and I'll be back with more process videos soon. Have a great day.